Okay, so part number three, one of the most important parts of the process, not that they're not all important, the pulse of the market. So, in order to get your fingers on the pulse of the market, to understand exactly what's going on with your market, you have to know what market we're talking about. Consumers ask me all the time, "How's the market?" And of course, the answer depends on which market you're talking about. If you're asking about one bedroom, one bath cabins that are Airbnb rentals, that market, since that's the one you bought, that market's interesting. If you're asking about three bedroom, two bath homes right now that are 1,500 square feet that have two full bathrooms that are in the city limits and are under $250,000, that's a pretty hot market, really, unless you've priced it wrong or something like that. Um, in order to understand what market we're discussing, we have to have an example. So you get your fingers on the pulse of the market by sitting down with me and talking about the market that you are looking at. So if you're looking at a three bedroom, two bath home, we'll pull up all the listings that have been sold recently that are three bed, two bath. You'll recognize them. We'll walk through them and I'll say, this is what that one sold for, and here's what that one sold for. And we'll, in that way, get our fingers on the pulse of the market. We'll decide whether or not, in our own heads at least, if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market for those properties. And I'll try and explain and define what that means for you. The best way to define it, again, is in terms of the amount of inventory that's available that you want versus the amount that comes on the market versus the amount that's coming off the market and getting sold, and how fast and at what percentage of the list price, and all of this extremely valuable information that I have that I'll be able to pass along to you. So in doing that, we're going to really define what your wants and what your needs are, especially if you figure out that having the extra bathroom really does cost that much, right? So we'll go through stats, we'll go through facts, and we'll try and help you sort all that out versus the emotions that you have and help you make a clinically correct and calculated decision based on the pulse of the market. The next step is actually to go through, pick out our inventory that we want to look at based on the pulse of the market to establish buyer's agency terms, and this is the part in the contract or in the discussion where I set that up, but we can set that part of the contract process up in several parts. We have to do this before I do any substantial work. So the idea is that we interview at some point in the process and you make sure that your agent is doing all this stuff for you. If you're interviewing me versus other agents, somewhere in this process is where we're going to sign before we start touring homes, once we've established that I'm going to be able to work for you and you're going to be able to work with me. So, pulse of the market. Next step is tour homes after we get buyer's agency under agreement, and then that'll be video 4.